Okay, we've got a couple who will be arriving very soon as well. If you all find yourself a seat anywhere is absolutely fine. There are no reservations necessary. And I have for you a special treat, a piece of dead tree. So here we go. Dead tree for you all. And this. And extra special piece of dead tree for you. Oh, that one's broken. Come find a seat anywhere. Anywhere is fine. I'm just handing out pieces of dead tree. Here's a piece of dead tree for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
A piece of dead tree for you. And a piece of dead tree. I hope you can, but I'm not going to time you. Alright. So yes, you may. Alright, team, now. Here is your piece of dead tree. So what we're going to do very first exercise is, over here I have done a demonstration. Here's what I would like you to do on your piece of paper. You may use an old-fashioned device called a pen. Ooh, scary. If you do not have such a device, I can provide you with one. Wow. Tell you, that's telling you something. Across the top, I'd like you to write W-I-K. All will become clear. Just like the rain, all right? And then there needs to be like a triangular shape. That's, well, two halves of a triangle, I guess. All right, so you're basically separating your page into three with your W-I-K. And go. Now, also I'm due to have someone online, but they don't seem to be here yet. So I'm not entirely sure. I hope I haven't missed them. Does anybody know Lo Hang Ching? Is that you? It says you're online, but you're not online. Fantastic. Good to see you. Good to see you. Lee. Shan. Ranisha. Siatu. I met. I've also got Kane written down. I don't know if that's... Sorry? Yeah, but he isn't listed in red. So he possibly has no idea what's going on. Has he been in any other things with you today? No. Okay, no problems. I'll just send him a good email. Kane. No, okay. One second, Yasin. 1 second, dude. I'm just going to find the link code. Oh, in fact, what I'll do is I'll find this one. Copy that one. That'll be easier. Yeah, yes. Yeah, it is Kane. Alright. Right, okay, so team, so you've got a piece of paper, you've written W-I-K, you've drawn your triangle. No, you haven't? You don't have a pen. Well, dude, I can solve that problem. How good a catch are you? You ready? Here it comes. Apparently not as good as we were originally thinking, but that's okay. Do not panic. Yes, you can enter. Hello, Kane. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. Apologies for the confusion there. Your name wasn't written in red. So to me, you were just going to be here and present, and all of the people who are written in red were the ones who were supposed to be online. But that's okay. Do not panic. You're here now, and that's all that matters. Now, what the team have done so far is they've got a piece of paper looking like this, and they have written WIC at the top. There, check it out. There it is. Oh, in fact, there's some people you might know. Look at these people. Look at these people. Look at them. Look at them. Say, hey, Kane. Look at them all. Sorry, that noise. So over here is our exemplar. So W-I-K, little triangle. That's what we're going for. Right, now, near the W, so in this section here, okay, what I'd like you to do, because I know some of you, okay, I know some of you, and I also know that there is bits of economics floating around in your head, whether you've taken economics before or not. I'm absolutely certain that there are bits of economics in there. So near the W in that third of your page, what I would like you to write down is any and every word that you think of that relates to economics. Go. Anything. Any word you think relates to economics. It's not working on the screen at the moment. No. Yes. There it is. All right. WIK. And the very first thing is, under the W, what is it that you know about economics already? Anything. Words, ideas, images, memes, whatever it is. Anything you know. You could cheat and ask Dr. Google, yes, but that's not kind of the point of this. The actual point is for you to figure it out what you know. By the way, just in the last few seconds, has anyone figured out what WIK stands for? What I know. Well done. Good man. You figured it out. Fantastic. What I know. All right, so just in that third of the page, any word, any idea that you may have discussed it with mum and dad, brother and sister, you may have learnt it in class, all right? You may have seen it on the news, or such a thing there is. All right? Okay. Now, we're going to talk to you about some new ideas in economics that you may not have heard before, even if you've heard a lot of economics. Okay? We're also going to talk to you about something called IB. All right? IB uses lots of codes. You might have heard some of them today. What codes have you heard about IB? You've heard IB. Have you heard CAS? That's another code. What else have you heard? TOK, TOC, all right, which obviously is the old person version of the TikTok, isn't it? Must be, yeah. Then, did you hear anything about something called an EE? Yeah, the most perfect code for anything in economics, because whenever we talk to IB learners about it, they all say, EE! All right. Okay, so let's have a think. You've got words down here, and here's what I want to introduce you to very quickly. I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time on this, but just to give you an idea as to what IB is going to look like. Firstly, it's over 2 years. So those of you who've come through the IGCSE economics program, you'll be familiar with that. It might feel like a long time until you're actually in it, and then it'll be and gone. All right? Very, very fast. Okay, the current Year 12s are over half the way through their first year already, which is a bit scary for them, to be perfectly honest, but that's all right. We have in IB economics things called key concepts, and I'm going to think that some of you actually have already got key concepts written down. Yes, you do. And these are key concepts that we're going to come back to again and again and again and again in IB economics, because they're key. And as we all know, if you're wanting to get into the house, you need the key. No. All right. Now, there is assessment. Yes, there is, and it's unfortunate in this day and age that we don't just have you like questioning to see how you get on. You do actually have to sit actual exams. But yes, it's the end of the 2 years. All right? There are 2 papers. If you end up doing what's called SL, what does SL mean? Does anybody learn that already? Standard level. Well done. See, you're so smart. All right? Standard level learners do 2 exam papers. That's it. Piece of cake, do it in your sleep. Yeah? The other group of people, they're called HL learners. What are they? Higher level. They end up doing 3 exam papers. They have an extra one added on because, well, they're special. Yeah. Now, we also have this. Anybody know what IA stands for? Internal assessment. Well done. See, you guys are rock stars already. Fantastic. Yes, internal assessment. You also have to do something which you may not have ever done in IG. Right? An internal assessment, which counts. It actually counts for your marks at the end. You end up doing 3 of them in economics throughout the course of the 2 years. You do 1 in the first year and 2 in the second. And they're quite fun because you get to look at something that happens in real life and discuss it, explain it, discuss it, critique it, add models to it. Does this work? Does that not work? Yeah, there's some limits and things that are imposed to it, and we'll cover that when we sort of get to that. But it's commentaries on economic issues. It's the real stuff. It's this is a problem, how can we fix it? It's that sort of level. All right. Okay, so that's a big overview of IB economics, but we're also going to have a little bit more just here. Major topics. Some of those are going to look quite familiar if you've done IG economics. Right. You may never have thought that you'd be learning the history of economics, but yeah, we actually do. Right. That is an actual part of the syllabus for IB, which means this lovely thing. Trying to get the angle exactly right over there. All right, this thing here. Poster. That's the word. I was looking for the word poster, and it just disappeared. This poster, which I've had for, I'm going to say 15 years, possibly a little bit longer than that. Okay, that comes in handy, right? Because that is a map of economic thinking. It's quite a cool map, by the way. It is. So that's one of the topics. We also do this cool thing called behavioural economics. We're going to have a bit of a look at that in a minute. We do something called microeconomics, which is the economics of the small. Okay. We also do macroeconomics, which is the economics of the big. All right. We do something about international trade, and we also look at something called economic development. Now, these days, we're actually going to put those 2 together, right? And we're going to call them the external economy. Yeah, okay, fair enough. There once was a fairy whose name was Nuff. Fair enough. All right, so. N-O. All right. Now, some of you may have played this game at home. Here's a challenge for you. You ready for it? All right. What do these people have in common with economics? Let's see. Play. Present the play. Play. How do I play? Play. No. Play. Ah. So that. Ah. Usually works. What am I not doing? Ah, here we go. That's fine. Now, apologies about the volume. It may be loud. I have no idea how loud it is. Could be exciting. Could be really loud. Or it could be deathly quiet. There we go. All right. Stop. Hammer time. Now, in the middle segment, what was Sir Mick Jagger, that's his name, what was he attempting to tell you? And bonus points if you can tell me what it has to do with economics. And triple bonus points, I don't know if there is such a thing, if you can tell me what connection Mick Jagger has to economics. Sir Mick Jagger, sorry. He has the title. He thought you were just going to be having fun and making you right. Yeah, write it down in the middle segment. All right. Let's see. Do we have rewards for answers? Yes, we do. These are M&Ms, but you don't have to panic. They don't do any wrapping. Wikipedia. Although they are covered with wrapping. All right. Okay, so here we go. Remember, there's points on the line here. So, what was Mick Jagger trying to tell us? Yes, sir? Oh, no. There we go. Oh, wait, what do you want? Are you guys getting your IGTAZ band results? All right. And so you can't always get what you want. Anyone like brave enough to tell me what that has to do with economics, are we? Close. I'm going to do that. Close. Any other thoughts? What does that have to do with economics? Yes. Yes. Well, jump to the box. Yes, what did we think? Ooh. What do we think? Alright. What do we have? Okay, no problems, no problems. Remember, there are still bonus points on offer. Alright? Because the triple bonus point, yes, the triple bonus point was, what connection does Sir Mick Jagger have to economics? Do we know? What connection does Sir Mick Jagger have with economics? Do you think anyone have that down? No? Okay. We'll go back and I'm going to see if this one works. Now, according to that, it won't work. But I'm going to see if it will work.
That's not even a meeting.
Okay, not working. That is no problem at all. All right. So instead, I will tell you. All right. Sir Mick Jagger, remember he's from a rock and roll band. What were they called? The Rolling Stones, who used to call themselves the greatest rock band in the world. Yeah, they're not. They're good. They were good. They were no Beatles, but they were good. All right. Sir Mick Jagger studied what? Economics. Yes, he did. Not only did he study economics, he studied economics at the London School of Economics, or such a place there is. Right? Usually goes by the acronym LSE. Right? London. He didn't finish. He didn't graduate with a degree. because he and his mates said, let's get a rock and roll band together. Right, but he did. London School of Economics. So let's have a think then about what he was telling us. He was telling us that you can't always get what you want. Alright? So, let's see. Alright, let's see if we can figure out if you can get what you want. Tallest person in the room? I don't know, Sean, you're pretty tall. Taller? What about you two? Oh, it's pretty close. A little bit, not much in it though. Alright, who's the fastest in the room? Yasin, pretty fast? Quentin's pretty fast? Yasin's pretty fast? Alright, who's the best at playing computer games? I don't know why I was just immediately looking at the boys. Hold on, Payne. Are you good at computer games?
No, I'm not.
A little bit? Okay, here, look. Here, M&M. Here it is. Doing it. So there's only one of them. So basically that's just an M. M. Yeah. Did you know I used to work for the M&M factory? Yeah. I got fired. I got fired because I kept throwing away all the W's. Alright, okay. So, who was the video game person? I keep walking away from the girls because the girls don't play video games. So I apologise, that's very generous of me. Apparently Yasin is the video game expert.
It always like to keep that, and it's the contrary.
Alright, okay. Now, I know you haven't got your IGCSE mock exam results back yet, but who's going to be getting an A? Any subject. Could be, one of those ones that's not really a subject, like theatre or drama or something. PE, one of those. Yeah. Any A's, you reckon? I've got a bit of an inside track because I've marked some of your work. Alright, okay. Then if we can't do that one, how about this one? Who's the eldest? Other than me, quite clearly I'm a very ancient man. Alright, I am so old that when I was young, the dead said, who's oldest in the room? Connor finally says something I'm not old enough. Alright, now, was there anybody who didn't get any M&Ms? Kane, I got you one. Yours here. Anybody who did not get any M&Ms? Why didn't you get any? Why didn't you get any? Did you want M&Ms? You don't want M&Ms? Yeah. Hong, how many M&Ms did you get, Hong? Oh, he gave you some. Wow. You gave him some of your M&Ms. They're your M&Ms. You don't giving them away. Yeah? Well, they're your resources. You see where I'm going with this one? Yeah, I thought you'd see the smile away. Yeah? What about, now this is the dangerous one. Are you ready for the dangerous one? What about if I was to do, hold on a second. If I was to do this! Yes, I did that in New Zealand, and I had Students a lot bigger than you all diving over the desks to get them. Alright?
Oh, not those ones anymore.
Here you go, Kane. You can have another one. Here you go. You've got two now. Alright. So, the point of all this is, as Yasin was desperately trying to tell you, is it's all about resources and how they're allocated. Yeah? Some people get lots of resources. So many of them that they're perfectly happy to give some of them away. Except for Yasin. No, I'm keeping mine. This is mine. Back away, they're mine. They're all mine. Okay, good idea. Alright. Other people don't seem to get many at all. If any. Yeah? I could have been given away 100 ringgit notes. I bet you if I threw them in the air, you would have been a couple more than just Yasin running for them. Yeah? I would imagine Hong would have been pushing you out the way with his elbows. Yeah? You wouldn't have been able to move. He would have flung you to the wall.
Oh no.
Alright, Kane, here's another one for you. You got 3 now. Oh! Sometimes in society, you run out of resources. Money, houses, education, coffee. Right? Sometimes you run out of them. It's not enough. Some people want a lot more than they have. And the Rolling Stones would say that you can't always get what you want. But if that was 100 ringgit notes, I don't know if Wen Ching would be sharing as much as she is.
Oh, yeah.
If it was 100 ringgit notes, I think Li Shan would be quite a little bit more picky with regards to whether he gave any to Hong or not. Yeah? Same. What if it was houses? My house. Gonna give you a house.
You have all the externalities, all that comes with it, so I don't know.
All right, now I know because we're getting close to lunchtime, so we're going to have another look at a slightly different experimental. All right, and this is where you might feel that you are a bit of an experimental person, all right, or just mental, one of the two. Okay. Now I can't do this with everybody, not allowed. So this is only going to be for a select group of you. A select group. And you need to be particular people. And it's difficult to choose the particular people ahead of time. So I need you to be 100% honest with me. Yeah. Apparently you're volunteering Abu. All right. Well, that's good to know. I don't know that Abu is so keen on you volunteering him, but he might. Now, if you are the sort of person who likes M&Ms, you might be the sort of person who likes marshmallows. All right? The ones you find down in the swamp or the marsh, yeah? Marshmallows. All right. So, if you are not a person who likes marshmallows, please do not volunteer. Okay, so do we have a volunteer who likes marshmallows? In fact, I could do with 2. Maybe, hey, here's an idea. Maybe we could do the whole gender balancing thing. Okay? Maybe we could do the gender balancing thing. 1 boy, 1 girl. What do we think? All right, do we have a girl who is keen on the marshmallows? We check. No, you can dip it. Just sit right here. My word. Do we have a boy she's so keen on the marshmallows that she's out of her seat already, just running for them? Any boy keen on marshmallows? Do we go, Abu? Yes? Yeah? All right. Okay. Now, the other thing is, you also need one of these devices. All right? These are called cups. Now, because we have 2 volunteers, we will have 2, and I'll attempt to, 2 cups. You know, and the cleaners are going to be a bit upset with me, but that's okay. Now, so you have cup, you will have marshmallow, you will also have Coca-Cola. You still all right? All right. Now, there are rules to this experiment. Okay, here's how it goes. The experimentees need to consume a cup or half a cup of Coca-Cola and one marshmallow. Then they're going to need to tell us how satisfied it makes them. Maybe a scale 1 to 10 sort of idea. All right? After they do that, then they need to consume another Coke and marshmallow and tell us how they feel. And then after that, you see the picture, yeah? All right? Yasin, can you be in charge of distribution?
Oh, just eat it all.
Just letting you know, this is episode of Coca-Cola. It is 0 sugar, things that you have. However, it is warm. It's not chilled. You can't drink yet. You have to wait. Okay. So as long as there's permission given. Right, so you've got your marshmallow, you've got a Coke. Right, once you've got your marshmallow, once you've got your Coke, go.
Hurry up.
Right, also, safety note, please understand that the bathrooms are that way. If we need them in a hurry, just go. Alright? Now in New Zealand when we did this, we did it with Coke, marshmallows and bananas. Yeah, it didn't end well.
Why bananas?
For the very reason that you think.
That sounds bananas.
Just keep, just go. Keep.
Right, you're going to tell me about your levels of satisfaction, yeah?
That's so many.
Here you go, Kate. Chairs. End tables. Alright, next one.
Satisfying.
Free lunch. I mean, it's better than the school lunch. Go. Hurry up. It's school lunch.
This is being so fun by stupid.
At the end, you're not going to win anything.
Oh, here we go. Gosh. I think it's because he's taller. He's got more room to put the Coke and the marshmallows. Just think of all that lovely marshmallowy goodness. Going with the sugar and the caffeine, digesting, rolling around in the stomach. Alright, here we go. Next one. You are allowed to opt out at any stage.
No, Wetting. No, let's go right now. Yeah, I'm going to
Nobody will be stopping, winching to the lunch counter. She'll be running. The caffeine explosion will happen.
Somebody's gonna have to clean up all these characters.
Hopefully not me. Oh, they're slowing down. I say they are, winchingers. Come on, winching, get it down here. Come on. More marshmallows, more. All that marshmallowy goodness. Yeah.
Wetting, no.
You do not have to this with, I don't know if you've been at Nexus for a while. There was a student here a couple of years ago, a year ago, I lose track, called Andrew. He was very tall. He was in the basketball team. Andrew Kim. Nobody know him? No? He seemed to just keep growing. He was like, whoosh, whoosh. And he decided when we were doing this particular exercise that when he came in, he'd have a drink first. So he finished off a whole drink and then started this. All right? And then a little while into it, he said, no, that's me. And he had to go rushing out to the bathroom. And then said to me, he never wants to eat marshmallows ever again in his life.
It's like it's number 6.
Come on, you think you like marshmallows? Stop the marshmallows here and then chug it down. You cannot anymore. Let's try hard.
That's number 6.
Do more. Wait. Oh, that way. That way.
Right, so just understanding that that is 1.5 litres of Coca-Cola. So these two between them have almost polished off 1.5 litres of Coke.
And it doesn't marshmallows.
It doesn't even bother.
You made
You can grab one at least now.
Yeah, you did.
That's not at all.
Alright, okay, there's a dribble there. Probably enough for a little bit if you're interested. Oh, gosh, it's taking her a while to get that one down. Oh, dear me. There's a slight green tinge there that came out.
That might just be M&M's.
Alright,
Do that.
one more, good sir.
Wait, actually, make yourselves in. Actually,
I think we'll stop the green tinge.
Right
Right.
now, you're going.
it's complimentary with the cola. He's actually enjoying it while we die.
Alright, now. Okay, so team. It's hammer time. Alright, now, in the third section of your page, the K section, what is it that you know? What did you learn about satisfaction from that particular experiment? In particular, Wenqing might have some thoughts. Right, you might have some thoughts as well, although you seem to cope remarkably well in that particular situation. Yeah? Party trick? My suggestion, don't go bouncing on a trampoline anytime soon. Yeah? I did wonder. Alright. Yeah, party trick. Alright. What did we learn about satisfaction from that particular experiment?
Is that why you're such against both pocket discounts?
Sorry?
Is that why you're such against both pocket discounts?
Yes.
MMC you have. There's already a dozen scale. Economic scale. Yeah, that was economic scale.
And then things are so funny.
Alright, what did we come up with?
No, actually, oh, okay.
Prepare the M&M's.
The walk has become something more active. I don't think I didn't find it out. I just like,
My challenge is to
What did we think? That's not how the IB works to not say anything. What do we think?
oh yeah, sorry.
Satisfaction.
Yeah.
Right, and over this way. What did we think? Right, what did we think? But from Wenching, what happened to your level of satisfaction, Wenching, as you were consuming more and more and more Coca-Cola and marshmallows? What happened to your level of satisfaction?
No satisfaction, I guess.
So, after consuming the marshmallows and the Coca-Cola, Wenching in particular, Captain Awesome over there is still ready to go. Let's have more. All right. Okay. Felt that her level of satisfaction dropped so far that she actually started to feel unwell. So, what should she do? Should she consume more? What's the logical thing to do?
Save some for later when you be satisfied again.
Save some for later. So the logical thing might be for Wenching to stop consuming. All right? So therefore, a lot of what we're talking about is about the idea of rationality. And in economics, and behavioral economics in particular, that's one of the big planks that we stand on. This idea of people being rational. That sounds absolutely logical. That when you are consuming so much that you're not feeling good, you should stop. But, all right, but, does that always happen?
No. The only reason behavioral economics exists is because people don't behave rational all the time.
They don't behave rationally all the time. So is it possible then that Wenching might just have some sort of switch in her brain, or she possibly does, I don't know. But she might have some sort of switch in her brain that she just keeps consuming, even though she is actually feeling unwell, and keeps consuming, and keep consuming, right? To the extent where it is actually making her physically unwell. Is that possible? But then that's not rational. Yeah? So maybe peer pressure. Maybe those sitting around here are going, come on, Wenching, come on, another one, come on. Yeah? That is a very New Zealand thing. That would happen a lot in New Zealand. Yeah? All right? So long as it's not my son, I'm all right. Yeah? Okay. So, we discussed this. Who do you think is the most rational amongst you all? Possibly you? John, what do you think?
I can't be rational. I can't be rational. Think otherwise. Like I want to use this.
Yeah?
Nobody's going to
Okay.
provide evidence to the contrary. I am most likely the most rational, which in its own
Okay.
thought, its own right is a rational thought.
It is, but then you've got to think, is being rational all the time the rational thing to be? Spooky questions.
Nobody's 100% rational. It's not possible.
So we don't behave rationally always. And I don't know, I've got two sisters. Yes, I know you can all feel sorry for me now. Okay?
Hey, sisters are great. Exactly.
I've got two of them.
It's okay.
My mother had
Better.
Four?
You have
My
to-
My
word.
mother had 4. I have 1 brother.
Oh.
How does sanity prevail in that situation? I don't know about you, but with siblings, do they always behave rationally?
No.
Right? So there should therefore be some sort of limit to your rationality. Now there are going to be some things we're going to learn in economics at IB level that is going to give you a pointer as to where your limits of rationality are. Oh, now here we're going to test your brain cells. Are you ready now? Obviously Wenching's had a whole lot more sugar than the rest of you, so she is just ready to answer the question and get it 100% right. So here's the question. What do you think economists are going to look at really closely as being a possible indicator of the limit to your rationality? You're all going to know it. I trust you.
Can you repeat the question?
Not enough Red Bull in the world. All right. What is it that economists are going to look at quite closely in order to figure out the limits to any one person's rationality. Yes, what are they looking at to test it? Yes, they are going to test it. But what are they looking at? Something so obvious, it's right in your face. Well, it's not right in your face because that would be a bit odd. But something that you deal with on a more or less daily basis. Their feelings, yeah, we're economists. We quite often don't care about your feelings. Yeah?
Environment?
Hold on a second. I'm getting old and deaf. Oh, you're so close. You're so close. You're overthinking it just a little bit. You need to simplify it right down. If you were to combine both of those two ideas, money, yes, and what they are prepared to pay. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Brandon. Yes, what they're prepared to pay. So if I was charging you per marshmallow and per cup of Coca-Cola, there would be a point when your rational brain would say, it's not worth it. I don't want to spend any more money on this. We assume. And in economics, we make a lot of assumptions. All right? We do. We're going to learn a lot about rationality and how it works, and something weird called heuristics, all right, quite early on at the start of a study of IB economics. Because, in case you were unaware, economics is actually classified as a social science. Oh, by the way, there's a test at the end of this. Did I tell you that? Perhaps I should have led with that. Right? Economics is a social science. It's about who? If it's a social science, who's it about? People. Yeah, us. How we behave. So, believe it or not, the really early economists actually did think everybody behaved rationally. And they wrote a whole lot of economics based around everybody behaving rationally. So if you've just come through IGCSE economics, pretty much all of that is based around the idea of everybody behaving rationally. Then you get to IB and we throw open the curtain and we go, guess what? People don't behave rationally. They're limited in their rationalities. We are at the center of what we study for IB economics. People. So we need to make allowances for the fact that people are, well, people. Right. Now, how about this one? Does height make a difference? Now, obviously, quite clearly, when my grandmother told me I was going to be 6 foot tall so I could play in the NBA, quite clearly she was wrong. Yeah? Now, a little while ago, we had a wee experiment where we checked out who was the tallest in the class, and it was a pretty close thing. Does it matter? Why is an economist interested in height? Other than me, quite clearly. Yeah. That's getting good. Right, under the K column. Why do you think, have a discussion with the people sitting nearby you, what is it about height that might actually interest an economist? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's part of the behavioural economics sort of side. Some of you will have experienced this particular phenomenon and on without even realizing it. That's the second one. Missed the second one. You can have a marshmallow cane. Here you go. Or maybe 2. All right, so what do we think? What has height got to do with it? What did you come up with, Abu?
So, for example, if someone is out of the ordinary, like length,
Yeah.
it's hard for them to, for example, find clothes.
Yes.
So,
That is true.
take advantage of that, you make it more expensive. And that's
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Might be overthinking it just a little bit, but yes.
Now, more broad version. So a person's side might influence which products they find preferable,
Mhm.
which can be exploited.
Okay. Again, you might be overthinking it just a little bit. Hong, I'm really interested in your opinion, Hong. You might be able to guess why. Sorry, I'm guessing. They do? Yes? Is that the only reason why you think an economist is interested in height? What do you think? Oh, the peak of the graph. Goodness me, you're all overthinking this. All right. It might surprise you to know why an economist might be interested in height. Check this out. All right. Economists have done behavioral studies which have actually indicated this, that if you are taller, you actually get paid more. You get more job offers, you get more promotions, you get selected more in class because your hand is higher than everybody else's. You get picked to be the captain of the sports team because you're taller. Yeah. Sorry? It is. Yes, but it is the idea of behavioural. It happens so often that you just don't see it. Yeah? Alright? Okay? I mean, I don't know. In PE, do they make you like, who's going to be the captain and people stick their hands up? I don't know. They used to do that sort of thing. Sometimes, yeah. It'll be, generally speaking, the taller ones who get it. Yeah? There was a study that suggested people who were born in particular months as well, because there's a correlation for them between being born in a particular month and also being taller. So when they did the study in New Zealand, they found that the people who were taller were also born around the same time. Well, it depends on the cohort that goes through. Yeah. So they found that out. So there is a currency to when you were born, perhaps, as well. Now, you will notice that we've been talking all about males. What's the implication? That the study found that it doesn't work with females, this particular idea. In fact, it almost works in reverse for females. That the taller the females are, the less likely they're to get picked, to be captains, etc., to get promotions and job offers and all of those sorts of things, which is a bit sad. But again, it's about the behaviour. That's what we're looking at with this. So, when we're discussing behavioural economics, here's something that we learn. We learn that we aren't calculators, the rational people. In actual fact, we are the TikTokers, the Facebookers, the Instagrammers. We're those people. We're the people who are anxious, who moralise an awful lot. If you think people don't moralise, just try talking to Americans about wearing a face mask. Right? We are herd-like. Right? We are herd-like. And again, if you think we're not herd-like, just try talking to Americans about who they vote for. Yeah? Right? We are reciprocating. That means we give back to people. Yeah? We give back to people. And if you think we're not reciprocators, talk to your siblings about how you might behave with them and how they might behave with you. Right? If they annoy you, you might try to annoy them back. Yeah? We are apparently image conscious. And if you think you're not image conscious, ask yourself this. When we were doing online learning you know what's going to come next. How many of you actually had your camera on and didn't have some weird little avatar? Some of the avatars were really weird. You know? Image conscious. I don't blame you. I'm just saying that's how we see people now. Right? We are also storytellers, and if you think we're not storytellers, just listen to a New Zealander like me telling a story. Right? We do it all the time. Even if it's something as simple as what happened at school today. Well, and then she said, and then we stood there, and then Yasin died for the M&Ms, and then, But does the story have to be true? Bit of a TOK moment there. We are also what's called game theorists, and that's something that we will discuss again in IB, where we actually, in life, play games. Not the video ones. Alright? It's all, in fact, there's quite a good parallel with the video games, however, because it's all about strategy. Right? Sorry? Yes, that is one. It's all about strategy. It's all about you behaving in a particular way because you know, or you think you know, what the response is going to be from the other player. Alright? Whether that's the reality or not, I don't know. But that's what we see. Okay? So, let's have a little look at some hardcore marketing. Alright, why should you learn economics? Well, let's have a listen.
Hey, how you doing, Internet? This is Jacob Clifford. Right now I'm on the street talking to people about economics and why students should learn economics.
You have found that people know what's happening in the economy.
They don't know how to make change.
Let's say we want to start up a small business or something like that. You have to know how the economy works, right?
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, what's up?
Why do students need to learn economics?
Why students? That's a good question.
And you I learned economics with the slip sided to correct misinformation on the topic. It ain't about the money in your wallet, it's a ticket for your mind. Once you learn it, bro, ain't nothing gonna top it. You think it's so distant, so you squinting like it's said in the comments, but it's all around you living. It's a pattern, it's demonic, you I promise. Call me Jeremiah like a prophet. Yo, you really gotta understand I roll of profits. You I learned economics. Man, I really love to hang this message like a banner up above me. You're the baker, ain't providing the rye because he loves you. Human action harmonizes like a plant that's up above you. Understanding only love you. Designed so your thinking improves. So you ain't full of social media bodies with fake news. You're open to the message that I seek to consume. Yo, it's fast as an ocean. We just peeping the view. Yo, I learned economics. Try to understand the market without the knowledge of supply and demand. Try to plan out all the prices by design that they plan. They don't know they're trying to find a hidden diamond in the sand. You be messing with emergence. It's a tapestry, man. Every price conveys a purpose. Yo, it's actually grand. Your mind is alive. Don't let it atrophy, man. With economic thinking, your horizons will expand. Yo, I learned economics. I'm thrilled that you asked. It's in moments of decision that your destiny is cast. Cause every life will fade and will be withered like the grass. So be scoping at your future and examining your past to maximize benefits and minimize loss. It's urgent that you think an opportunity costs. And for every single obstacle that you come across, be thinking through the possible, not superficial draws. Yo, I learned economics. It ain't a dismal science. It's a friend that's walking with you, giving you a little guidance. Keep investing in your mind so that knowledge base widens. Sound assignment, human capital is growing like a giant. Keep applying this in life. Yo, you really need it. Those ignorant of history are doomed to repeat it. Well, then you try. Yo, you face it and you need it. Both your goals and your dreams will be met and superseded. Yo, I learned economics. I wrote this little sign to correct misinformation on the topic. It ain't about the money in your wallet. It's a token for your mind. Once you learn it, bro, ain't nothing gonna top it. You thinking that it's distant, so you sweating like it's Saturn in the comments, but it's all around you living. It's a pattern, it's demonic. Yo, I promise. Call me Jeremiah like a prophet. Yo, you really gotta understand the role of prophets.
Yeah, I was thinking. That was a good answer. Good answer, man. Hey, it's nice meeting you. Have a good one, okay? See ya. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. My name is Jacob Clifford. This is Greg Caskey. We put this together because we're two econ teachers who love teaching economics, and you should love economics.
Check out hiphoponomics.com. That's where my 2 albums are at. And follow me at BarSpitterCast on Twitter. Have a good one.
Alright, now, Neil.
This just reminded me of something that happened. So, I've become kind of paranoid about it. So, whenever we go to a supermarket, because there's different sizes of like cans of chips, I always check to see which one actually gives you more grams of chips for the price. I just do the calculation, option cost or whatever.
Yes, that would be a thing to do. Now, in case you're thinking that's just us old people who want you to learn economics, we've got some young people. A couple you might remember, if you remember back to a long time ago. So these are actually Nexus students. Famous person.
And also how to best help develop.
So we need you to help us save the world. To fight against this scarcity concept.
Of course, the challenge is to think critically about the world.
You will learn the language of economics. It is easier than Latin.
And there is some mathematical understanding, but it's not that scary.
You will amaze and baffle your friends and family with words like ceteris paribus, zero sum, elasticity, and also you get to draw the Laffer curve. It's just like an upside down smile.
2 papers at ESO, 3 papers at HO, where short and extended questions are asked related to real-life economics. For example, should America have trade war with China?
Read the commentaries as an IA on real life economics, testing your evaluation skills and ability to write 750 words. 750 words.
Coming out of economics makes you so much smarter. There's always the evidence. So basically, economics and business rocks.
Come join us. We have M&M's.
So yeah, that was my year 13s when they were year 12 a couple of years ago. You might recognise a couple of them. Anybody know Fatima in year 13? Yeah? That was her brother in there.
Oh!
Her older brother. Yeah. Alright, team. Now, I have left a couple of things. Firstly, to say thank you for listening to me. Alright? Which is obviously on a day when you are just being spoken to an awful lot. Right? It is a challenge for you. I also have this. Yay! I told you there'd be a test. Kind of a test. Right, this is something you can work on, you can discuss with each other, you can take home as well. Right, might be something that you look at with mum and dad and chat about. I've put the information about the different papers, the assessments, the different topics in here. But also something you reflect on with regards to what it is that you have learned and maybe some questions that you still have. And there's a wee QR code at the bottom which will take you to our famous ex-students, as you saw, discussing economics. Now, I have got one of these for you as well, Brandon, but it's difficult to, sorry, Kane, it's difficult to, I can, there, maybe. I'll send you a digital copy, all right? And it's got the information in there about economics, and it's got, reflection questions there.
One day, one of my aunts was actually an economics teacher. I don't remember if that was before. Sign out.
Cool. Okay. Now, before my 8-year-old gets very hungry, anybody want a marshmallow? Another one. They are apparently no family.
Are there certain
A lot of you always facing this way.
are there certain traumas of the family? Like,
Alright. Now, so 3 things that you learnt, 3 things that you might still want to know. And at the bottom I've also put my email quite clearly, so you might feel that you want to email me the questions, or if you have other questions that aren't there, you can always email me those. I'll see if I can attach it for you now, Kane. Yeah. Alright, so it should be in there now. I will send it to you. There it goes. Oh, for goodness sake. That's good. Right, now I trust that you know what you're doing this afternoon. I think you've got more people talking at you after lunch. And then you're going to the IB Hub, where I will be amongst other people, and then you can actually go around asking questions. Why is the sky up? Right, once you've done your reflection, team, you are free to go. Unless you have particular questions that you want to ask now. Have a fantastic rest of the day, and I will probably see you later on in the hub. In the hub. Did you have any questions, Kane? You want to ask now?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, this afternoon, I think you've got somebody talking to you again, and then they're going into the hub to come around and ask us questions. So I don't know how you're going to do that unless you have somebody holding up the screen and walking you around. But maybe you'll do that. Okay? Otherwise, I guess we'll see you back in class, well, virtual class, maybe next week. All right? Have a good rest of the day.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. See you.
See you.